Hi, I'm Mike Serigan with Vital Ministries today, and I'm with
Buck Craft.
Buck Craft. You bet. And we just talked. We come up here today, and January 27th, and it's cold.
Yeah, it's 30 below outside, but we're trying to think ahead, plan ahead for the ride in June.
And the dates of that ride that we're going to look at this year, what are we looking at, Buck?
We're going June 6th, 7th, and 8th, and we're going to go to the first night we're going to run in Red Wing, Minnesota, and ride along the river up through northeast Iowa, ride along the river, and then get up next morning, Saturday morning, ride to the northwest corner of Wisconsin, come back down through, crisscross across the river through La Crosse, and then stay in Decorah. Come home Sunday. It's 370 miles the first day, 350 the second, and 190 the last day.
That's
So
good.
a few less miles than it was last year.
That's good. Now, what time? Normally we different hours is when we take out, but normally what time do we usually head out, Buck, on a Friday?
Typically between 7:30 and 8 o'clock on Friday morning, we'll leave. You get out ahead of a lot of the traffic, and it's a beautiful time to ride in the morning.
You bet. Now, too, we think about this too on a ride. We never know exactly what kind of gear we're supposed to plan for, and sometimes we should be a lot warmer than we are now by all means. But should I bring rain gear, chaps, that sort of thing? Is that normally what do we do on that?
I bring a lot of guys will bring helmets. That's obviously up to yourself if you want to ride. It's not required in Wisconsin or Iowa. But I would recommend if you have chaps in the morning hours. Sometimes it's a little chilly, especially if we get up along the river. I would definitely bring rain gear. We don't have any control over that, so it's not a matter, if you ride motorcycles, it's not a matter of if you're going to get rained on, it's when. So,
that's right. And then primarily too, far as riding, this is an all-exclusive a man's weekend ride that we do each year on a 3-day trip. And spend it 2 nights, but also too in the midst of obviously going out, enjoying riding, being out in the air, and getting to meet other men. What are some of the significant things that kind of jump out at you, Buck, on the ride that has, as you look back in the years that we've been riding? What are some of the things that just stand out to you?
Well, I guess it's very seldom do you ever get that many men together and just go do something. You get the idea to get out in nature. Get to see a lot of beautiful country, which obviously we all know where that was created. And you have opportunity. Last year, of all things, we had a rainstorm. It stopped, and we sat for an hour and a half, and we were really able to communicate with all the guys. And it was good. It was a good time of fellowship.
It created just a moment that we probably would have never done due to a rainstorm that cropped up on us.
Yep.
And I think I remember even we had pizza underneath that shelter.
Correct. Yes, we did.
Just a good time.
Yep. Good thing there's a Casey's in town.
Yeah, that was good. Now, also too, Buck, I know you and I have Harleys, and a lot of guys ask this question: do we have to have a Harley in order to go on this trip?
Nope. You can. Doesn't matter what make you ride. Doesn't matter if it's got 2 wheels or 3 wheels. You're more than welcome along. In fact, we're going to have Carl Dunnick has agreed to drive a pickup and a trailer behind us in case we have a motorcycle go down or a driver gets sick or anything. It's just kind of an insurance policy, kind of like a fire truck. It's nice to have, and hope we don't have to use it.
You bet. Now, how about where do we stay at? Normally, you got destinations for us, but how does that usually work out for the guys?
We'll get motel rooms. We typically will bunk up with another guy. If you want to be by yourself, we can accommodate that too. I just need to, once we get closer along, we'll get a sign-up sheet. Obviously, I'll need to have the numbers so we can make sure we have enough motel rooms, because last year I think we had 13 or 14 motel rooms. You can't just call every place and get that instantly.
Right, and if you're hanging out with someone, you can split the cost of the motel
Correct.
room.
That's exactly right.
So primarily what I need money for is fuel for my bike, and then obviously in our motel stay, and then also food. Is there anything else I would need any money for?
If we stop any place, you want to see anything we'll probably stop at a Harley dealer up in Wisconsin. I think, if I remember right, it was probably, I spent probably $150, $175 last year.
Which was for a cheap
for the gas, for the gas, motel rooms, and everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, also too, you know, a lot of times as men, we go on these rides and we do these things, but at the same time, you know, we get an opportunity each morning to where before we kick up the tires and get going hard with each other, we take time and we have a devotional in the morning. We have a just about a 15-20 minute study time as we head out. And when you think about that, what are some of the things, and maybe even some of the things that maybe some of the guys have said to you about that as well?
Well, there again, I think it goes back to the same thing you hear a lot of guys say. It's a great way to start the morning. Some people make that a habit every morning to start off with devotions and just get your mind thinking on thinking why we're all here. I've had comments on that. That was a great. It isn't very often. Again, it goes back to it isn't very often you get that many men together, and then when you can get them together, it's kind of like Vital Men itself. It's a unique situation.
Yeah, just gives us an opportunity as men. We can climb on a bike, get out in the nature of God. We get time to where we still get in God's Word, and even better so with the relationship of getting to know other men, and out of that comes just a deeper relationship and just kind of a camaraderie of just of doing that and being on a bike.
Right. Yes. Being in the wide open.
That's right. Well, we want to make sure today that we thank Big Barn Harley-Davidson up here in Des Moines, Iowa, for allowing us to get together today and talk about the 2014. Now, what's the dates again on that?
June 6th, 7th, and 8th.
So you want to mark that down on your calendar and start preparing and set that time aside so you can join us on our Vital Ministries Biker Weekend Ride.
And we're also looking to having a husband-wife weekend.
Yes.
Down the road. That we're at the dates we're planning that on is July 12th and 13th, which is a Saturday, Sunday.
Gotcha.
That'll be husband and wives. We'll be going from Pella, going to run up to Galena and come back there again, try to stay a little bit along the river. And also, this is another date that we're looking at. We'll see what type of interest we get, and that's the Gulf War Veterans Memorial in Marseille, Illinois, which is from Pella. It's 260 miles, and that's a Saturday ride. They get 50,000 motorcycles. They stage them. Last year they staged them at Joliet, Illinois, at the racetrack to get that many motorcycles together.
Yep.
They ride into town. Basically, the town welcomes them as they come in because it's a memorial ride for all the fallen soldiers. And then this year and each year they put the names of the fallen soldiers for that year on those memorials. So that's a ride we're looking at.
So 3 rides this year.
Yeah.
And these other 2 rides are something that we've never done before.
Correct.
This will be all new. So we're looking for it. So you get a ride with for a 3-day, 2-night weekend with just guys. And we've got a ride that's coming up to Marseilles, Illinois, and you can also bring your wife on that one?
Yes.
Gotcha. So that'll be a good ride. And then what's the date again for the one to Galena?
The Galena is July 12th and 13th, which is a Saturday, Sunday. We'll leave a Saturday morning, come home Sunday. That is probably 225 miles, something like that, from Pella to Galena. So
it'll be a great weekend. So I encourage you to plug into Vital Ministries. We got more stuff that's coming up on the horizon. You won't want to miss it.
Went down to see my VA man. He said, son,